In this lesson, we're going to do the basics of factorization. We have an expression here that says x squared minus x minus 12, and we need to factorize it. Sorry, my handwriting is bad. So for us to factorize this, we firstly need to assess the expression. We know that we have minus 12 here, and for us to factorize, we need to find two numbers that when you multiply must give you 12. So let's see what options we have. So for you to get 12, you can multiply 1 with 12. You can also multiply 6 with 2, or multiply 4 with 3. Now, we need then to test all these options of 12 to see how are we going to get to the minus 1, which is the coefficient of x. It means that the two numbers that you multiply that give you 12, you must choose the ones that if you add them together will give you minus 1. Now, if you take the first option and say 1 times 12, yes, you get the 12, but 12 minus 1 or 12 plus 1 doesn't give you minus 1, even if they were both negative. The same thing with 6 and 2. If you multiply 6 with 2, you get 12, but you can't get the difference of 1 or minus 1 between 6 and 2. But if you take 4 times 3, you get 12, but you can also get the difference of minus 1 between 4 and 3, which is what is required to factorize this thing. Now, let's try it out. So for you to be able to get minus 1, you know that the bigger of the two numbers must be negative, because if you have two numbers that you are adding together, the bigger one will be the one that determines the sign of the answer, right? So if 4 is negative and you add minus 4 to positive 3, then your answer will be negative 1. Now, given that, now that we know that, we did some analysis on the side before we factorize, we can factorize with confidence. We open brackets, we say for this x squared to multiply out, we need x and an x. For this 12 to multiply out, we need a 4 and a 3. We also know that we need the remainder to be negative, so the bigger number must be negative, so the other one must be positive. Now let's try this out to see if it actually works. If you take x and multiply it with that, then you get x squared. Now you take the same x, you multiply there with 3, then you get positive 3x. Now you take minus 4 and you multiply it with x, you get minus 4x. And lastly, you take the minus 4, you multiply it with 3, you get minus 12. All right. Now, if you simplify this, you get x squared. Now you need to add plus 3x minus 4x. That gives you minus x. Right? It's like 3 minus 4 will be minus 1. Right? And then minus 12. This is the same expression that we've started with, which means that it's equal to this expression that we have here. You have managed to factorize this so far.